Hi there and welcome back to another video. Do you ever wonder why you see so many lottery winners, so many sports icons that seem to have it all and then they lose it all? That's because they have the money but they lack the skills to handle it. So if you're the sort of person that wants to do more with their money, do more for their families, do more for the future, then you're in the right place as I go through some very simple money habits that you can start today to save money, get rich and revolutionise the way you do your finances. So sit back, relax, and if I could give you any tip, it would be to take 2 of these habits and try to incorporate them into your life. And when you've done that, come get another 2 and you'll be well on your way. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video for some of the more important habits, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to commit to more videos just like this to help you on your journey. So habit number 1, set up a budget and track your expenses. So it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but go through your bank statement, your credit card statement, and just take note of where you're spending your money. Whether you write a list, do a fancy spreadsheet, there's even apps that organise your money into how it's being spent. But just look at your direct debits, what you're spending on food, what you're spending on going out. Are you a cereal spender at a coffee shop or a dessert shop? Most likely if you go somewhere and ask for your usual, then yeah, you probably come under this. But the key thing here is to know exactly where your money is going, because before you start to build any habits, you need to know how much is coming in and how much is going out. Habit number 2, and that's building an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is simply 3 to 6 months of your living expenses set aside for any, you guessed it, emergencies. So having this money set aside prepares you for any eventualities, let's say from a car breaking down, to potentially losing your job. But by having this money set aside, it means that you're a lot more flexible and a lot less vulnerable to these sort of life events happening, which means you're less likely to take out debt that you need, borrow money from places, high interest loans, high interest credit card statements. So it's a crucial step in your money management. Habit number 3, cut back where necessary. So you've got your budget. Now, does anything on there surprise you? Is there a subscription you don't need, or do you spend a lot on entertainment? I had a friend at one point that paid monthly to have more storage space online, but he's never stored anything online. It's about that giant stop sign. So when you're shopping, when you get to the till, what is that thing that's going to stop you from making silly purchases? So is that thinking about your holiday? For me, it's thinking about this money I spend now. If it was invested or if it was put to other uses, what could the potential of that be instead? It could be as simple as thinking, is this a want or a need? Maybe I should put it back if it's a want. Or another way of thinking of it is the 50-30-20 rule. So allocating 50% of your after-tax money towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and then 20% towards your investing or your savings. And now for habit number 4. Now, this is pay yourself first. So this has been around for centuries, but more brought into modern culture by Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is all about growing up with a dad that was more educated about money and a dad that had more traditional views with money. But essentially, this is where once you get paid, you pay whatever to your savings, to your whatever your goals may be at the start, rather than after all your bills and your expenses have come out. Essentially, once this is done at the start, it means throughout the month, let's say, it's amazing how much better you plan, organise, manage your money once you've paid yourself first to end with a certain balance, as opposed to where if you kept all that money there, spent as you usually would, and then at the end of the month, saved. And now it's time for habit number 5, and that is pay off high interest debt. So you feel as though you're taking back control, but you've got some high interest debt. This could be anything from credit cards, bank loans, unarranged overdrafts, anything that sort of charges you more than a, let's say, 4 to 5% interest rate. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in saving your money in a savings account for, let's say, 4 or 5%. There's no point in investing your money at 6 to 7% if you're being charged 20, 25% on a credit card. And just think as well how much of a difference towards your saving and your money goals, having that minimum payment every single month, let's say it's $50, $50, £50, how much of a difference would that make if you didn't have to pay that off every month? And now for the next tip, it's to increase your income. So we've tried to stretch as much as we can, we've tried to save as much as we can, but that can only go so far. People try to save money or they try to earn as much as they can, but why not do the best of both worlds? Why not do both? Nearly everything these days can be a business. We've got the internet, it's a remarkable thing. You could do a side hustle, you could start an online business on, let's say, Etsy. You've got social media marketing, you've got Fiverr. There's so many different ways to utilize your skills to earn more money. You could look at potentially a second job. You could either sell unwanted items that you don't want anymore. Even just as simple as making sure you're being paid fairly for your work. So looking at how much your job role actually fetches and just, again, making sure you're being paid fairly for what you do. The key thing with this is there's a limit to how much money you could save, but there's no limit to how much money you can earn. And that's something I want you to remember. And the next point is avoiding lifestyle inflation. So this is the simple principle that as you make more money, see higher balances in your bank account, you're going to be more comfortable with spending more money. So let's just say you get a pay rise at work. Now you get a slightly nicer house. You get a slightly nicer car. Suddenly these payments or whatever you're doing with them, that is now eating away at some of this extra money you've got coming in. So is it really now extra? It's about drawing that line between what you need and what truly adds value to your lifestyle. And now for habit number 8, and that is invest your money. So you're all set up, you've cut costs where you can, and now you're ready to grow your wealth after paying some debts. Now it all depends on your risk and comfort level as to what route you go down. Obviously, if you're unsure, see a professional, as I'm not a financial advisor. But you want to make use of something called compound interest. This is where you invest some money and then that money obviously grows in value or you get interest on it. But then what happens is the money that you've gained in terms of interest or appreciation where it's gone up in value, that's also invested. Over time, the money that's invested grows and grows, and then the interest and the value you gain from that investment goes up and up and up, until the point where it snowballs and really grows quite quickly. Let's take a quick example, but if you take £200 a month over the course of 40 years at an interest rate of, let's say, 7%, the end value is about £528,000, or you can use this as an example for dollars. Now this is simply from investing that money, and about $430,000 or pounds of that 528,000 odd, that's all interest you've earned. That's not money that's been put in, it's all interest from compound interest. Now how easy is that? You can look at stocks, you can look at index funds, property. There's so much more options that are out there to create this value and create the life that you want and get you to that point where you're sipping pina coladas on the beach. And the final habit, not taking action soon enough. So incorporating these habits into your life is going to get harder. There's always an excuse not to do something you want to do or are trying to do. But I honestly think it's about taking action, because most of the time when you do speak to people who've took these steps, they do say they wish they started sooner. With time, your financial commitments are going to grow, whether you're looking after your own family that's perhaps growing, whether you need to look after your aging family members and friends, maybe you're getting a pet or getting a house. But by not educating sooner, your expenses are slowly going to grow, and with this happening, it will be a lot harder to change your life because it's going to affect more people around you. You saw that compound interest really needs time to work. So it's about giving it as much time as possible, because the sooner you start, the greater potential it has to really get you to where you want to be. And there we have it, 9 habits to save some money, get rich and revolutionize your finances. As I said, even if you take 2 away, you'll really start to see a difference. Now, is there any advice that has stuck with you from friends or family to do with money that I might have missed off? Be sure to share it down in the comments. Actually, share any life advice, be it financial, be it funny. Let's have a good laugh down in the comments. And if you're just starting out with all of this, lucky for you, I've got a channel dedicated to this type of content. So be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more like this. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.